You're watching Sunday Morning Matters on KC24, your local election headquarters.
While the Fresno police chief is mulling over his decision to run for mayor, there was one Fresno City Council member who wasted no time in declaring his candidacy. District 5 Councilman Luis Chavez joins Andrew Jans as the first two in what is expected to become a bit of a crowded field in the coming weeks. Councilman Chavez, and just like Mayor Brand and I, a Roosevelt grad, joins us in studio. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, congratulations on your announcement. First and foremost, though, were you a bit shocked that Mayor Brand decided not to run again?
Not completely shocked. So Mayor Brand and myself are friends, and we've had these conversations throughout a couple of months, and so I knew that that was a possibility, but I don't think the timing shocked very many people in the building.
You were out of town when he had his conference, and the mayor was talking publicly about his decision. Why did you decide to declare that your bid to run for mayor so quickly? Were you prepared for that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I had this conversation actually with Chief Dyer, where, you know, him and I spoke, and I told him that, you know, I wouldn't run if Mayor Brand would run, but if he didn't run, then I would run for the position.
Why did you and Dyer both say, if you run again, Mayor Brand, we won't run against you? Why?
Well, I think it's out of respect. You know, Mayor Brand was one of my first supporters when I ran for school board. I've got a lot of respect for him. Him and I have a close friendship, and he's somebody that I respect.
Did you consult anyone? I mean, besides maybe your family?
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah,
most important
well,
person.
the boss. You got to do that. Yeah.
I did. I actually spoke with some family members, and you know, this is something that I've gone through a couple of times already. This is no stranger to election cycles, and so, you know, my desire to want to serve. I love the city. I love Southeast. I love Fresno, and so this is a way for me to serve my city.
This is your third year on city council. You won that special election, then you got reelected. Why do you think your time is right to run for mayor? Because it's all about timing sometimes in politics, most of the time, I should say.
It is, you know, and I spoke a little bit about this where, you know, I think at the end of the day, the voters really weigh in and say if they want you to represent them. I think my experience sets me apart. I've got a good balanced resume, serving 4 years on the school board and dealing with educational challenges, whether it was graduation rates, whether it was dealing with English learners, whether it was other educational matters, and now being on the city council. I've got a track record and a voting record of actually voting to support programs, services, and resources, not just in South Fresno, but in North Fresno as well. And so I think that gives me the skills and abilities, and more importantly, the relationships that you need, because in City Hall, everybody knows that you can't get anything done if you can't count to 4. And I've shown that with my track record. Last year, I was able to pass the Support Small Business Act, which passed unanimously. And I think those are the issues that we can work with. And so I have a track record of bringing folks from both sides of the aisle together and getting things done.
Do you expect Chief Dyer to run?
Yes, I do. Him and I have actually spoken, had this conversation. I think he is going to run, but that's great. I mean, choices are good, and you know, at the end of the day, we throw our hat in the ring, and the voters decide, and we have to respect that.
How do you beat, and I don't know how much strategy you have come up with in the last few days or in the last couple of weeks as you were kind of waiting to see what Mayor Brand was going to do, but how do you beat one of the most recognizable public figures in the city over the last, you know, at least a decade and a half in Chief Dyer? How do you beat that?
I think it's with hard work. You know, you put in the time. I've shown that I do that. Like I said, I've ran for office before. I know what it takes. I think the chief has done a great job as a police chief, and we'll see what happens in the forums. But I think folks need a well-rounded person that can actually get things done, and I feel I'm the person to do that.
Do you expect a couple of your council members to run as well?
I don't know. That might happen. I mean, you know, right now in the presidential primary, I think they're all the way up to 40-something candidates, but that might be Fresno in 2020. But that's okay, because I think that's the process that we go through, the gauntlet, the ring of fire, and choices are good. And at the end of the day, we respect the will of the voters.
Yeah, one of the difficult things, and you heard Mayor Brand say it, hey, I got a ton of bricks off my back now. I can really concentrate, and I feel I could be more successful now that I don't have to run a campaign for re-election. Right. How do you run for mayor for you and still be a councilman and be an effective one?
Just, you know, earlier I mentioned about my ability to bring folks together. I think that's one of my, you know, distinctions from other candidates, that I can actually build coalitions. I've done that. I've got a track record, you know, and the results speak for themselves. And so I think if you're effective, if you're able to collaborate, you'll get things done. And I think at the end of the day, that's what residents want. They want somebody that understands the needs across the city, and more importantly, can be effective in delivering policies that improve their lives. And I think we have a lot of challenges in our city, you know, and it's not just public safety, it's homelessness, it's housing. We have a crisis on our hands, and I think you're going to need folks that can coalesce, you know, broad coalitions together.
You talked a lot about that's on the mayor's budget right now, and you're talking about it. Mayor Brand has also tried to do these things. Why do you think you feel you could do much better?
I'm pretty good at counting to 4. I'm actually pretty good at counting to 6 and 7.
All right.
And so I think that's really the MO there at City Hall. You have to be able to coalesce folks and bring them together, and I've done that. I've got a great working relationship with every single one of my colleagues, without exception, from both sides of the aisle. And I think because there's that mutual respect, we might not agree on everything, but there are things that we do work towards. And it's like that old saying, I think Ronald Reagan had it, where it says that somebody that disagrees with you 80% of the time is still 20% your friend. I live in that 20%.
So you're saying you have a chance?
I do.
Real quick, mayor's budget comes out. You saw how he wants to divvy up the money, police cars, a fleet there, a fire station that he wants to build, putting more money towards parks and renovation and maintenance and stuff like that. How do you like it so far?
No, I've been there and I've seen almost 10 budgets now. So I've seen when times are great, when times are not so great. I think we're in a point in time where we can make some investments. I think the budget will change. The mayor presents it and recommends it, but we also have to be fiscally responsible and maintain that reserve. Right now it's about 10%, and that definitely hurts our credit rating. I want to make sure we keep that, but also make some investments. I think we need to invest more in parks. That's something that's going to be very important for me as well.
All right, mayoral candidate Luis Chavez. Congratulations on that. Absolutely.